Hey y'all, I'm your host Marvin Telp. What's in the news this week? Roe versus Wade. The Supreme Court, the SCOTUS of the United States, SCOTUS, have overturned Roe v. Wade. And what that means, abortion is no longer protected by the federal government, meaning each state can now make their own rules and regulations regarding abortions. We're talking about a landmark decision in the country of the United States of America being overturned by a skewed Supreme Court. Of course, once this happened, Clarence Ruckus, yeah, you see him, Clarence Ruckus, came out and he said there were 3 other cases that they really wanted to review because they think the Supreme Court has overstepped its bounds. Those cases are Griswold versus Connecticut, which is marriage and contraception. Lawrence versus Texas, which is consensual gay sex. Not marriage, not anything, just if you gay and you want to clap cheeks, it will no longer be protected by federal law. And then Obergefell versus Hodges, which is of course the gay marriage. So these are all very, very important cases, and you have to be mindful that with the Supreme Court having a 6-3 advantage conservative, they're going to swing towards the conservative side. Let's just grab one randomly. Texas. That wasn't random at all. I lied to you. So Texas, their 2022 committee platform, which, like I said, is the formal set of goals for the party. They want to repeal the Voting Rights Act of 1965. I didn't even know that was even on the table. They want to be able to use racial discrimination at the polls. This is written on paper, ladies and gentlemen. The absolute audacity is amazing to me.
I cannot believe this shit.
And then for those who aren't black or aren't gay, that just happens to be white men and white women, now we're dealing with the fact that they want to revoke the Equal Rights Amendment, which is basically saying you deserve equal rights. I guess it's weird because they're coming after civil liberties as if they're not just civil liberties. We have to be mindful of the fact that they are rolling back the clock on this, like on the nation, right? And when I mean rolling back, I mean Fred Flintstone roll back. When I say roll back, I mean whip your slaves in the middle of the park because they acted up. Sorry, was that too much? Too soon? And then you have politicians like John Cornyn, who in Texas tweeted blatantly as day, hey, let's do something about this Plessy versus Ferguson / Brown versus Board of Education. Now they've come out and he's been like, I didn't mean it like that because, why would I do what? He meant it like that, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the first fallouts of what looks like the Supreme Court's trajectory in the near future is CVS and Walgreens has said they were cutting back on their sales of Plan B. And I panicked. A little bit. Not saying I did anything crazy. I'm just saying, like, sometimes Plan A didn't work. So I look into it and I go, well, damn, what happened? They're minimizing the sale of Plan B to 3 at a time. 3. Like, these ain't Lay's potato chips, ladies and gentlemen. Like, bet you can't have just one. You only need, listen, I understand what happened in Vegas was wild. But you don't need one for each night of the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday can all be handled on Monday morning. Okay? So, you just need 1. 2 if you're over 150 pounds. But, I mean, don't ask me the details. Someone told me. I didn't do it. Also in the news, the January 6th committee meetings. These are the meetings where apparently if you weren't alive on January 6th, you didn't know that white supremacists had stormed the Trump supporters. I didn't mean to get that mixed up. Stormed the Capitol building basically to try to overturn the election. What they tell you, they were going to sightsee through the Capitol building, climbing walls and windows. But you know what? That's revisionist history. So we get the testimony, the videos, the crazy things. We got Trump's people saying this is what Trump said and this is what he did, and he was pissed off and he was like, let's ride out and hey, load up, clip up, we gonna bang on the government. Loosely translated, it's so much overwhelming evidence that it makes it look like they didn't do any investigation for O.J. Simpson, which has led to Trump's defense attorney saying, if the hair plug don't fit, you must acquit. I'm going to apologize for that joke. But what this means is we've just spent millions of dollars of taxpayers' money to say duh, because we already knew what the fuck was going on. Speaking of taxpayers' money, Russia is still in the Ukraine. I know you forgot about it. I forgot about it. Russia is still in the Ukraine, which means all the sanctions that we are inflicting upon Russia will continue to afflict us here at home. And I am saying we absolutely need to keep up the pressure on Russia, because they can't just be jumping into random countries looking for oil. I'm sorry, that was us. We can't just be jumping into random countries taking over for political gain. Wait. No, Russia, don't do it. That sounds American. As we're dealing with this, gas prices are going to continue to go up. Wheat prices are going to continue to go up. So food and all the things that we're dealing with, and we're staying in the highest inflation in the United States in the last 40 years. As long as Russia can't win this war, is as long as we're going to stick through this. So, you know, I'm not rooting for Russia. I'm just rooting for a conclusion. Brittany Griner is still in Russian prison. Russia said they want to exchange Brittany Griner for a known armed dealer. And that just seems a bit skewed. But then I realized it might be the best possible plot for Love and Basketball 2. Play me for your freedom. No one saw that coming. This next segment is, I hate having to do this every other month and have a discussion about Black lives and how we're being treated in this country. But Jayland Walker, a 25-year-old man who doesn't have a police record, was shot 60 times in Akron, Ohio. 60 times. Not an exaggeration. The autopsy report says 60 actual wounds, which means they clipped off, the estimation was 90 shots. And if you actually watch the video, it sounds like firecrackers going off. And that's because he took him on a high-speed chase and then got out the car and ran. Now, I don't know what happened. We don't know. All we know is what the police have given us. And, you know, you must believe police testimony, right? But then in Highland Park, where everyone goes to gather to watch the fireworks for the 4th of July, was shot up by white supremacist Robert Cremo III. Yes, that's a Trump flag on his back. And yes, I said white supremacist. His last tweet before going was, "You are all sinners." Good job, creative, I like it. He shot at 2 police officers, grazed one head, hit another one, and then proceeded to murder 7 people with 23 injured. Escaped. He was taken into custody this morning. Taken into custody. And I don't know if he went to Burger King. And then Jayland Walker, who was shot 60 times, put face down on the ground, and then cuffed, because the only thing scarier than a black man is a black man with 60 bullets in him. So that leads us into gun laws again. And it's the debate of what should happen, what do we not need, how do we regulate our Second Amendment right. The Supreme Court just struck down the provisions of some states to actually make getting and carrying a gun harder. Good job, Supreme Court. See? Just scrote them. SCOTUS. SCOTUS. So, Jayland Walker is shot and killed. His parents are asking for police reform. And then we find out that in Michigan, their police chief came and apologized because someone leaked video that all of their target practices and all their police targets are black. But you know what they say, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You hit what you aim for every time. And so this police chief came out and said, "Hey, I will take that on the chin." When, sir? Because I got a line of friends that would love to test just how strong your chin is. Speaking of gun laws, let's go to our Need Help, Get Telp segment. We're talking about gun reform, and we're talking about gun reform across the nation. California has the strictest gun laws on the books in this country.
Throw down your guns.
And the question is, how did they do that? What made California the strictest gun law carrying place when we are also the #1 ownership state? Let's talk about it. In 1967, white people had a problem, the Black Panthers. And at that particular time, the Black Panthers carried AKs wherever they went. And they did that for protection. So what happened? Don Mulford wrote a bill and got it passed. And Ronald, the white man's pride, Reagan, signed the bill into play. And if Republicans are so worried about gun control, how did it get passed so fast? Niggas, they were scared of the Black Panther Party that had guns that weren't shooting each other, that were protecting each other. And it scared them so much that they enacted the toughest gun laws in the country without any blowback whatsoever. So, Joy Behar was right. If you do want to make effective gun law change in this country, niggas go get you some AKs and ARs. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week. Also, you can follow me at Marvin Telp on Instagram and Coolest Nerd You've Ever Met podcast. And that podcast covers all black nerdom, from MCU to manga to anime and so forth and so on, including Star Wars. So please, if it's something that you know, you love, and you are a bit nerdy, come fuck with us. All right, see you guys.